Hello again. This is the Creative Boom podcast and I'm your host, Katie Cowan. If you're tuning in for the first time, I'm the founding editor of Creative Boom, a platform I launched to support the creative community back in 2009 and today welcomes 6 million readers around the world. It was just a little side project, but today has become my main venture. This podcast hopefully continues my mission to celebrate, inspire and support creatives everywhere, particularly those who are underrepresented. Here you'll find fun and honest chats with artists and designers from all over the world, hopefully to give you a boost. As always, we try and avoid taking ourselves too seriously and enjoy getting to know people, as we don't just talk about work. Okay, that's enough about me. As you know, I like to get straight to the guests. And for episode 49, we welcome the award-winning graphic designer, illustrator and educator, Shanti Sparrow. Originally from Australia, Shanti now lives in New York, where she's Northern Hemisphere Director at Shillington School of Design. With her design work, her style is vibrant and bold, something she describes as loudly minimal, and her expressive typography, grid experimentation and confident colour palettes create memorable and iconic designs. She specialises as a conceptual designer and collaborates with many not-for-profit clients that create awareness and raise funds for important humanitarian, environmental and research-based causes. As an illustrator, Shanti's style involves scanned textures, vector patterns and digital collage. Her subjects mainly involve animals and nature, and these enchanting characters all have names and background stories inspired by her travels. As an educator at Shillington, she is dedicated to shaping and supporting the next generation of designers. She champions inclusivity and diversity in the creative industries. Here we talk about her childhood and varied background. We find out why she gives her illustrated animals names and why they're so traditionally British. And we talk of how the world is changing fast and for the better. But before all this, I'd like to thank our sponsor for Season 2 of the Creative Boom podcast. Shillington is the original graphic design bootcamp that helps students achieve award-winning portfolios and land incredible jobs in as little as 3 months. We'll be hearing from someone from Shillington later in the show for some career tips. But for now, here's my chat with Shanti. Hi Shanti, thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we've kind of known each other over the last few years with both of our association with Shillington, which I should point out, by the way, you're here on your own merit, not because of the season sponsor. I think it's very important to sort of say this, get that bit out the way.
Oh, well, it's good to know. Yeah. I think, teaching is a really great thing, but every teacher at Shillington is still a creative in their own right, and we all run our own studios and do amazing things. So
exactly.
Glad to hear it.
It's one of your many hats, isn't it? Because you do design and you do illustration and you call yourself an educator as well, which is great. It keeps you probably very much on your toes and creatively satisfied, I would imagine.
Yes. I've got a busy life, but I think I get fulfilled in lots of different ways through each thing that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds great. And then you have, so with your design, I love that you call it's like very vibrant, pow approach. And it's something that you describe as loudly minimal. What on earth is that, Shanti?
I mean, I don't know. Somewhere along the line, somebody wrote that one sentence about me and I was like, wow, that resonates so much. And I mean, I have it even with interior design in my house. I think I'm a maximalist where I like minimal but large pieces in small spaces. And I think that goes across to my design as well. Yeah, I never ever meant to have a style in design. I try and be a problem solver and I try and pick something that makes sense for whatever the client's problem is. But a few of my projects along the way got more attention than others, and they all sort of looked in a certain way, and then I attracted clients who wanted things to look in that style, and then eventually I'd looked up and I was like, oh, my body of work kind of looks like itself.
Yeah, and it kind of, goes across to your illustration work as well, which, actually that's in contrast. That's probably something a bit more close to the heart because you sort of focus a lot more on the animals and nature, and you bring in kind of your own kind of storytelling in that as well. Is it true that the animals in your illustrations all have names?
Yes, they do. Yeah. Like most things, I know them by their name, like Betty or Harriet or, Henrietta, more than the elephant, the giraffe. I don't know, that they all came from a strange time in my life where I was just trying to, I used to always paint and draw when I was a kid. And then I kind of got into design and forgot about that. And I was doing all of the commercial things, and I kind of wanted to go back and try it. And I knew with illustration, you kind of do need a style. It's more in the art world. And so to be recognizable as an illustrator, you need to find that style. And I think one of the best advice that I ever heard was from Sandra Diekman. And she was talking at a semi-permanent once. And she said that she went through all of the artworks that she made when she was a child and had a look at the patterns. So she could tell that she always liked, this sort of color palette, this sort of subject. And I did it, and all of mine are animals or patterns or designs. And I used to cut up pieces of paper and make trees with leaves and things like that. And I was like, okay, I've got definitely a history in this. Let's see what I can do with my adult skills.
That's great, because you based in New York now, but you're actually from Australia.
Yes, yeah.
So whereabouts in Australia did you grow up?
Well, I'm a bit of a mixed bag. So I've got a Irish mum and a Malaysian dad, and they met in the UK, and then they had my family in New Zealand. So I lived there for, I think, until I was 7, which was it's an idyllic sort of childhood. And then we moved to Australia, and I lived in a country town called Bathurst until I was 17. And then off I went to Sydney for uni and the first part of my career.
Yes. That's interesting, because I was like, why is she calling her animals things like Betty and Harriet? Those are kind of very English names. So I was like, where's that come from? That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I know. I'm not entirely sure. I'm always drawn to those names, but I think it comes from fables and storytelling from when we were kids. To that point, I made a children's book called Fantastic Friends, and I was called up on that. And I thought it was a really great thing that they were like, let's make this an international book about making friends internationally. Let's make the names, more culturally variable. And they did it, and they renamed it so there were different names reflecting in different continents. And I was like, I really should be doing that more.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess we just go with our gut, don't we, initially when we're making these projects for ourselves. And then when you're sort of making it for others, it then kind of takes on a larger meaning, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And because I suppose, even with just names, we need to sort of show diversity, don't we, in our work to make everyone feel included.
Yes, absolutely. And I like that, especially because it was for, kids under 5. I think that any kid picking it up, I want them to feel included. But I think picking those names probably come from the fact that I did come from a largely UK background world. Australia still has a lot of that. So I wasn't really exposed to too much diversity in that sense. Yeah, which is why I love New York, because you get a little bit more.
It's a melting pot. It's a great, great city. It's one of my favourite cities. And what a place to be. So it wasn't a very difficult decision leaving Australia then.
Difficult in the sense that I love my mum and my family.
Oh.
And that's tough.
Yeah, of course.
And my friends and things like that. That was tricky. But I had been to New York a little bit beforehand in 2014, and I loved it. And I knew that in all of America, that would be the one place that I would want to live. I could never have predicted the period of time that I decided to move here, though.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
What, did you move just before it all kicked off?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness me.
I saw the end of Obama and the start of Trump. That was my first year. And then...
Exciting.
Oh, my gosh. I just had to hold on tight, really, for most of it. And then
the pandemic.
We got this year.
Yeah.
And
it's exciting. Sorry, that's my British sarcasm, but you get it, which is great.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely memorable. It's going down in my history books for sure. I don't think
all of ours.
Yeah, I mean, nobody really predicted it in the general sense. Obviously, there are some people in the medical field who did. But yeah, we were all hit in education, and in design was hit as well. I'm so grateful that I was in the position that I was already in my studio working remote from the clients. I was never going into their studios, and my work isn't based locally. It's based wherever the client is. And thankfully at Shillington, we're just like an entire team of people who try and solve problems. So we got a very big problem and managed to like flip everything online pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think Shillington definitely had to sort of, diversify in the sense that they were, because they were used to their 6 campuses, and there was always sort of a talk, wasn't there, about possibly taking it online one day. And then suddenly it just kind of, pushed them forward to do it. And here we are. And now actually they've got students all over the world, which is fantastic for them and has opened up so many opportunities for so many people.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've taught in all of the different streams, and I got to teach the first couple of months in the official online debuting course. And it just felt, I don't know, because we haven't been on campus for so long, it just felt so nice to be in a room of people who were so excited about design, even if it's a Zoom room. And, going through the fundamentals of design with them and seeing them get it. And I'm like, this works. And just knowing that they can be in Hong Kong, New Zealand, Hawaii, like wherever they're from, and they wouldn't get that exposure necessarily in person. So it's special in its own case.
Well, it's bringing education to everyone, and it's making it more accessible. So it's wonderful. Not that I'm suggesting that all of these wonderful institutions didn't, try and do that before. It's just you're always limited a little bit on location. And now the pandemic is actually one of the silver linings is that it's opened up the world so much more than so much more than we thought it was. So you must get a lot of satisfaction anyway, despite all of that shift and change over the last 12 months, just helping the next generation of designers come through. Yeah. Because what was it like for you back whenever you first sort of stepped out into the world? And I'm, being gracious with our age and, all the rest of it.
That's okay. I'm good with this. It's, I have empathy in a way. It's probably a little more difficult for the students now, but I graduated in 2009, which was the global financial crisis.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I came out of uni, big hopes, big dreams. Well, I mean, for me, big hopes, big dreams, but I think they're actually fairly, mid-range. And I was like, I'd love to work at a studio, a small one that has a mix of commercial work and cultural work, that sort of stuff. And everything crashed. And I remember just coming out and, my dad, which is ironic now, being like, make sure you get a teaching certificate just in case this art stuff doesn't work out. And I was like, go away.
Those sensible parents who know best.
Stop it. Yeah. But then I just started applying for everything. And I do remember in my cohort of, I think there must have been 120 people who graduated from my year at university. I just watched them slowly fall away because we had needs. They needed to pay rent. They needed to, make their way in life, and they couldn't wait for design to give them an opening. And so they slowly started going off into different fields. And I think I was very stubborn, and I was eating, 2-minute noodles and ramen for a while there.
Nice.
And sending out so many applications a week. And I mean, I've said this before, but it was it was a good day when I got rejected because at least I knew my email went somewhere. Yeah. And it was a really sad day when I heard nothing and I'm like, I don't even know if my Gmail's working. And
it's tough, isn't it?
It is tough. And I know that that's what students are graduates are going through right now, even people who've been made redundant. So I have the greatest empathy for them.
Absolutely.
But then, I mean, right now I do a lot of counseling in terms of mentoring with graduates. And I do say that, apply for everything and anything. Don't worry if it's not your dream job, starting. It's okay. Exactly. You get so many lifetimes in design. You can change, 5 times over. It's okay. And I didn't get a glamorous start. I applied for a mid-weight role.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm obviously not at all qualified, but I was just like, well, you know.
Why not? Go for it.
There's a job.
What's the worst that can happen? They can say no.
Yeah, great. I'll take that. That'll make it an okay day. So I applied for a midweight job at just a printery, an independent printery, and didn't get it, didn't hear back. And then a month later, they needed a junior. And my resume was there in a pile. It didn't belong. And they were like, well, as opposed to putting an ad out, we could just ask her.
That's great.
So it's a little bit of luck.
Actually, this is a trick that a lot of people don't know when they're graduating. They send out a lot of emails when it's sort of right for them. But actually, if they sent out some printed letters to the right people, those letters often get put in a file and tucked away, or, even emails get tucked away into a folder, and you never know. It might pop up an opportunity in future. There might not be something available now, but you might get added to a folder where they go through it when there is something that comes up. And I tell you what, if somebody emails or writes, if they get back in touch with you, make that little effort to say thank you. Just send back an email and go, thank you so much for replying. I really appreciate it, given how busy you must be, or something along those lines, because that'll be remembered, because most of them don't. This is my little opportunity to rant about it, because it frustrates me, because I will spend quite a lot of my day replying to applications saying, oh, no, sorry, I can't, but I'll help you out because I know these people are looking for a job. They never thank me, Shanti.
I hate that. Terrible.
Bad manners.
I also get some emails and they come in. I've figured out a way to filter it in terms of a lot of the time people are contacting me to do some sort of interview project.
Right.
Where they have to talk to a creative. So I did that maybe 20 times. And then I realized that the questions are all the same. So I made a Q&A.
Very good.
And I'm like, you can go and get those answers from me. There's a thing up the top that says you can ask me, some more questions if I haven't answered them. Please limit them to 5. Because, sometimes I'll get hey, I need 2 hours of your time. Can you answer these 20 very in-depth questions? Send me all of these files. It's for a project at school. And I'm like, I really can't.
No.
And then, and but sometimes you do, and you don't get a thanks.
Yeah, I know. And it's sad, isn't it? Because in hindsight, when we first started out, I guess I would have always said thank you, actually. So I don't know where that came from. Probably my parents. But anyway, I'm not suggesting people who don't reply and say thank you are completely rude and need to check themselves. It's just that maybe somebody never told them that would be a really good thing to do. I'm going to hit that home again. If you're applying for things, definitely do that. And also understand that the other person might be a bit busy. And they've got to work for a living. And so if they don't reply, or if they haven't got time to do something, don't take it personally. It's just one of those things. Yeah. Do you struggle with feeling guilty about managing that and your time? Because I still struggle, because I get so many emails through Creative Boom, and I have to be really ruthless. Otherwise it would just be sat there. Seriously, I'd be sat there 24 hours a day. I need to be like Jim Carrey in what's that movie when he plays God?
Bruce Almighty?
Bruce Almighty, where he just goes like that with the keyboard, and then he just gets sick of it, doesn't he? And then he says yes to everyone.
Yeah.
That might land me in trouble, actually, thinking about it.
Everybody gets a feature. Let's go. I feel guilty. Of course you do. Yeah. And it's because you want to give back and
help.
Absolutely. And I do very specifically want to help graduates. And the other thing is you can tell when it's a mass CC sterile email of, even things saying, can I come and work in an internship, when internships aren't something that I offer. And I'm just like, this is a broad email. So those things I don't mind just sort of putting aside. But if somebody's ever messaging me and saying that they're having a tough time, or they're not sure whether they're meant for design, or they're scared or something like that, I do want to stop and give them a minute.
Yeah, of course you do, because you're human and you have compassion, and it's in our nature to want to help others. And we especially want to help those who've taken an effort to do their research and have found out a little bit about us too. I read a really good bit of advice recently when applying for jobs. Make as much effort with your application as you might expect if you were sort of the boss or the business owner, if you were looking to impress, because then you're more likely to get a response or something. You know, not everybody can afford to do something wacky where they might sort of do an amazing, I don't know, designed CV that's printed on very expensive paper. But even just a little bit of extra effort and a little bit of research and a bit of eagerness can just go a long way. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, there was the time when Leave Behinds at an interview with the biggest thing ever, and people went wild with them. And I mean, I definitely turned up to one interview with homemade cupcakes.
Oh.
You know, just because I was like, please.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but I mean, whether it helped me or not, I don't know. I think that if you can make a genuine connection, like if you can say something in that email that is genuine and it's about the studio or you or a connection that we both have. So I have a dog, and I can tell.
See it.
Yeah, she's impatiently. She's in my sort of like. What is
window seat.
Window seat, yeah.
Yes,
she's
above the radiator.
She's waiting for her walk.
She looks a little bit. Yeah, she. The way the light's hitting her from the typical New York apartment window, it's like poetry, Shanti. It's beautiful. What a lovely apartment you have behind you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Living the dream. I want to steal your life.
Oh my gosh. Well, as soon as you can travel, come over. Meet the dog. Hang here.
What's her name?
This is Harriet.
Oh. So why the name Harriet? Because you've mentioned this a couple of times. Is that special to you, or is it just...
It's like one of the names that I picked when I was a kid that I thought I wanted as my name. Because of Harriet the Spy and things like that. It always felt like a tough, curious, smart girl name.
Yes.
And then I found this Chewini, who was a tough, curious, smart girl, and I was like, perfect.
Were you a smart, curious girl?
I think so. I
mean, it's obvious that you were, but did you see... I guess my question is, did you feel you were that way when you were growing up? Did you feel...
I didn't. I come from a pretty brilliant family, and I don't think I'm the brilliant one out of the bunch. I think that, I've got doctors and geotechnicians and all of that sort of stuff. I'm the only creative job. So it was always a bit different. So I think my curiosity and creative side was a little bit more than theirs.
Right.
I played in the imagination world a bit more. But in that way, I thought I was my own bright spark, was always going to fail maths, but I was okay in everything else.
Yes, I hated maths, but I actually enjoyed it, but I managed to get through it and I got my grades, which was great. But it's funny when you're a kid, especially when there might be other, I'm making assumptions here, but was there an expectation for you to follow a similar path to the rest of the family, or were you allowed to sort of just do your own thing?
I think I was allowed to do my own thing. They wanted me, I think, so when I was very, very little, I wanted to be a veterinarian, and have a farm of animals that you didn't eat. And that was just going to be my life. And then I got a little bit older and I found out about architecture, and I was like, that's it. That's the thing. And I went and did a year 10 work experience in that, and they were all very supportive of architecture. I think they were like, let's get a lawyer, a doctor, an architect in the family. And I did work experience, and I realized how much of it is just in the prep work and the sun studies, and the creativity is hugely limited because of the parameters that you need to fit.
Yes.
And I didn't enjoy it. I didn't love it. And then I was kind of lost in my late teenage years, being like, well, what do I do now? My dreams went away. But there was like one of those charts at school where it said, like, what do you like? And I liked design and technology and art. And it had radiuses of different professions that, fall under that. And I saw graphic design. I was like, I don't know what that means.
But it sounds cool.
maybe that.
We didn't have anything like that. We just had some sort of stern-looking person come to the school, and we had to sort of fill out a questionnaire, and then we sat with them for like half an hour, and they told us what the questionnaire results were. And
what did you get?
Mine was a foreign news correspondent.
You went that way a little bit, didn't you?
I did. And I really loved French as well, you see. So I always have pictured myself living in Paris in one of those kind of rooftop apartments and being a news correspondent for a newspaper back home. And unfortunately, I was never that great at French, but I did end up going into journalism, which is quite interesting. It's mad, isn't it? How do they work these things out?
I don't know. Or is it the power of suggestion? You get told that and then you walk towards it.
Oh, well, this is intriguing, isn't it? You know, is it? Yeah, exactly. Is it nurture or nature? We just don't know, do we?
No, not at all.
But it doesn't surprise me that you had a big love of nature because, or you still have, because Australia is such a beautiful country. And it's very much, I feel, when you're there, not particularly maybe in the cities, but when you live out in the sticks, it's very much nature over humans, isn't it? You just...
Yeah. I'm New Zealand as well. So my birth city is just outside Hobbiton, where they filmed for Lord of the Rings, the Hobbiton, which is very idyllic. So that was, rivers and I mean, I very much remember the river. That was a big part of my childhood. And then we went to the beaches and the forests. And Australia, yes, I think we lived, we didn't have a farm, but the house looked out onto a farm. And that was always so beautiful. I never had traffic noises growing up, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not a particularly outdoorsy girl.
Right.
I love it all, but I'm the person, if we're camping, I'm like, is there a tiny house that I can, Airbnb? Can I sleep in the car? Yeah.
Well, you just need to get a camper van. That's what you need to do.
Okay, I'm into that. Yes. That I would happily do.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think if I don't have a bathroom too accessible or like a shower,
we have campsites over here, like in Australia, but over here they're a bit more. I don't know. I've only been to one campsite in Australia, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And in America, I've been to a few in California, and I find just with that comparison, the campsites we have in the UK tend to be very organised, and they have much more organised in terms of facilities. So they'll have better. But I think you need that in the UK because we don't have the weather here. So you'd be all right in the UK, but you'd hate camping here because it's always raining. Well, not always raining, but I have a camper van, so it's okay. So,
oh my gosh, you're living the life. That's the dream.
Yes. The best thing about having a camper van is turning up on a wet Friday evening when all the people out there are struggling with their tents, trying to put them up in a gale force winds, and you just rock up in your camper van looking really smug with one eyebrow raised and going, "Oh, you losers!" And you
I'm going to put out my patio thing.
I don't feel privileged at all. I went through that for 20 years. That was good fun. So that's great. So you had the idyllic childhood, and then you sort of thought, right, I need to go to a big city. I need excitement.
Yeah, I did. From Bathurst in the country town when, 17 and under is where I was there. I was always like, Sydney, I'm going to go to Sydney and I'm going to go to a club and have really cool coffee and there's going to be fairs and festivals. And for much of my early 20s, that really was that.
Oh,
it was
fab.
Lots of fun. I found
catching the ferry over to Manly. And
I found my people in the inner west, which was like warehouse parties and ridiculously delicious vegetarian food. And it was like sort of the hippie alternative vibe going on, but I loved it.
Stop it. It's just, I cried on the plane back from Australia the first time I visited because I've got loads of family over there, you see. I was just like, I don't want to go back to the UK. It's cold. Because it is a beautiful place. But yeah, what do you miss the most about home? I mean, and that's a tough question to ask, knowing you've not been able to go back for so long, probably.
So much stuff. Well, friends and family, first and foremost, obviously. I do miss... I wasn't much of a beach person, but right now I'm like, oh my gosh, I could any turquoise water and golden white sand beaches sound amazing.
Oh yeah.
Things like Thai food and Turkish food.
Yes.
I I think Australia, just because of proximity and the immigrants in Australia, they make incredible food.
They really do.
And yeah, I miss that. Like fresh tuna, all of those sorts of things.
Yes.
Avocados, pineapples, mangoes. Okay, I'm hungry.
All the amazing fruit and veg that you get over there because of the climate, right?
Yeah. And just like the coffee culture there, I think outstrips New York. And yeah. Anyway. I miss so much of that.
We're taking a short break to thank our sponsor Shillington, the original graphic design bootcamp, and get some career advice from Sydney Ligori, a designer, illustrator and entrepreneur who's also head of Shillington's campus in New York. I asked Sydney, what should designers bear in mind when going to job interviews?
So when you're going to a job interview, the most important thing is going to be being able to speak about your process and being able to speak about the work itself. You're going to be showcasing it, and then you'll probably be prompted to discuss the work and the process you went through. Maybe if you worked on a team or independently, either way, it doesn't matter, but just being able to be engaged in that storytelling about the work. Speak about the work in a positive and passionate way. It's always really important. You don't want to go into an interview and start, pointing out a project that you didn't really like that much. And this is why I didn't really like it. Really try to big yourself up. And then another important one that I like to kind of put out there is to be yourself, which sounds like a cliche, but I think there is this, maybe sometimes this notion of any job is the job that you need and is the job for you. But I think really the job that you're going to find the most joy out of and sustainability out of is the one where you feel like you are in a place you can be yourself and that they embrace you and who you are. And so I would say, we are creative. So we are able to be a little bit more loose with what we wear. You can express personality through what you wear and how you speak and what you speak about. And I would say, don't shy away from that when you go into a job interview. Try to project who you are. And if they give that back to you, if they meet you there and really, you engage and you get along in that setting, I think that's a really good sign that it's the right place for you.
To find out more about studying graphic design at one of Shillington's 6 campuses around the world or via its online course, visit shillingtoneducation.com. Now, back to Shanti. So what do you love about, I know it's a difficult question to ask because you sort of, for the last 12 months, like the rest of us, you've gone through the lockdowns and things like that. And it's been tough, but, you've been there for a few years now. What is it about New York that you love so much? What's the...
Well, okay, in the regular times of New York, I like that everywhere has a history. Like every corner has some story and somebody somewhere lived there and it's been in some weird movie and it's the start of some foundation. And all of the buildings look like a movie set. So I was definitely wide-eyed just walking through being like, wow, people just live in these things. And you just don't know where it will take you. You meet people and then they're starting up a business and you're a designer and all of a sudden you're networked. I think people here are really great at networking. So it does feel very opportunity heavy.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think New York does a really good thing of making moments happen in a way that almost feels intentional, but I'm sure it's not. But just... there'll be fireworks and you're on a bridge and somebody gives you champagne. You're like, how is this happening?
It sounds like a Richard Curtis movie.
Yeah, what's going on? Or, you're at the dog park and then somebody starts playing saxophone and it's sunset and then somebody's like selling chestnuts and they smell amazing. And it just like every time you go out, there are little things that happen like that. Even just being on the subway and hearing an incredible musician sing and play or dances. It can take your breath away. Well, it can take my breath away still.
Yeah. And does that inspire any of your work, or do you do you still sort of take a lot from the nature that you grew up with?
Yeah. I think like you just take different things from different things. So I think nature in terms of my design doesn't sort of appear all that much. In illustration it does.
Yes.
But it is a time to just renew and like chill and then build some creative energy up. In the city, I think that it's always pumping. It is my energy and it is the backdrop to moving forward and having a fast pace. But there's something about the shapes of it, the geometry of it, that always turns up in my design. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and there is a lot of geometry, and it is very stylistic, your work, and a lot of what you do from the design point of view involves like lots of non-profits and good causes, and that must be so satisfying.
Yeah. Well, I did cut my teeth. So that first job. I did cut my teeth in a printery that largely did promotions, very commercial promotions, for like Coca-Cola and all of that sort of stuff.
Ooh,
and
right.
Red Bull, Nestle, all of that, where they would just sell the deals that go into Shell stations. Mm-hmm. So I do think my karmic debt was quite deep in those first years. And commercial work isn't like the evil, but I do think I was borderline just not doing such great work. Knowing that I know visual communication is so powerful, it is almost a magic, and you can use it for good and bad. Yes. You also need to pay rent, so I'm not going to make a judgment on people. Pay your rent, do what you need to do.
Yeah. We've all got to start somewhere, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some people don't have a choice. They have to take what they can.
Yeah, and I absolutely did too. It's when you get some room to make a choice, you know, you can choose to do different things. You can offset some of that with your own personal work. So I managed to get into a studio that pretty much 90% of their work was non-for-profit work.
Oh,
and I got to work with Greenpeace and Animal Welfare League and National Breast Cancer Foundation, UNHCR, Red Cross, and they were all institutions that I really, really aligned myself to. You know, my brother had worked in Greenpeace for years and been on the Rainbow Warrior, and then circling back, and then I got to do the 100th the anniversary of the Rainbow Warrior sinking, and I got to do a commemorative poster, and it was just like, this is work that I want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the dots join up, don't they? And then you think, oh, wow, okay, this is fantastic. Not only am I doing something that I love, I'm doing something that's actually changing things for good, you know, and helping give back.
And unlike the other stuff in terms of profit margins, it was so measurable that it really drives you, because you could tell, so this year we put out an appeal, it made this much money. This year with this creative we put out an appeal and it made this much money. And you could really track yourself and be competitive against your own self, and that really drives me. So it was a game for me a little bit as well, that I was like, we're going to beat September's record, we're going to do this.
It's incredible, like, you know, just to be able to put our skills to some good cause and put ourselves out there. And you know, I guess sometimes we think, oh, I'm going to be really proud of myself when I look back on my life one day. And that's all. Yeah, here's hoping. And, you know, that's all we really strive for, isn't it? To be able to make a difference. And then you also, like we've been talking about before, you're making a difference by helping the next generation. What are you seeing coming out from the designers that you're teaching now? Do you see that they're sort of more aware of these issues in the world, and that they're actually wanting to design for purpose?
Yeah, they are. The last few classes specifically, there's been a lot of social issues, environmental issues. There's a lot of representation matters things that are coming out, and it's wonderful to see from such an early start in their careers that they've figured out that they do have this voice and they want to say something specific. So it's absolutely happening. I think it's also happening a bit more in studios and the industry itself. I'm seeing the start of, you know, better balanced panels and better balance conferences. There are things that are starting to change a bit more visually that, is evident. And it's also, that's something that I want to do moving forward. So creating spaces for, women of color, people of color, to find each other, get support, create communities, network, and try and fix some of the imbalance. And there are a few pipe dream ones, still very top secret, but ones that will hopefully be able to, create promotion and awareness for lots of different communities. Just, because
Education's got a lot of power, hasn't it?
Education absolutely does, yes.
From the ground up, and then, that'll ricochet across the industry and hopefully, hopefully encourage positive change.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember doing design history. So when would that have been? 2005 was probably when I was learning design history. And they were all very similar people. They were all, yes, very
white.
specific. They're all in the Swiss world. They're, they are genuinely amazing. No.
Did you notice it? Because I didn't notice it.
No, I didn't.
Genuinely.
Because I think like nothing that I've studied at school was representative. So I didn't even know it was missing because I'm like, well, the standard is white men, and I'm used to not seeing that. And it has been a huge learning process, which I'm sure it has for everybody, where I'm like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on?
There's something not quite right here. Yeah. Definitely. I did a really lovely podcast with all my podcasts are lovely, obviously. But I did a really nice chat with Sophia Mono, and I was sort of talking about how I'd never realised before what it's like to be a woman and some of the challenges we face. I don't think I really kind of wanted to face up to it, if I'm honest, but it was just never, because of everything that we'd been used to thus far, it was just never something that occurred to me. And then, I guess you get so sick of not being involved in things, not invited to certain things, seeing the same things. When you're starting to become aware of it, when you're starting to come out of this kind of, phase, this fog, and Sophie said, just build your own table. And my mind was, just blown up. Oh yeah, I can build my own table. Yeah. I don't need to wait to be invited to that other table. I can just build my own table. And then you realize you have a lot of power and all the rest of it. Okay, me, myself, you, Shanti alone, we can't change the world together, but we can certainly make a good start, can't we?
Well, that's the power of making communities. If you've got a community of people, then they can all help each other. They can all find each other opportunities. And that's something that I want to see. Even just it might be an out-of-date statistic now, but the 0.1% women-founded studios, that's wild, because there are from my observation, there, and actually I think in that study it does show a majority of people studying are women.
Yeah. And
then 11% are in leadership, and then 0.1 are founded, and it's just a terrible ratio.
Yeah.
So one, trying to lead, founding a studio, being a representative, opening yourself up to mentor and give advice for people who are considering, doing it themselves, and just encouragement, because I think sometimes, and this is a huge stereotype, not every woman is this, but you can have that whole imposter syndrome come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it does happen a lot. And just knowing that when somebody's going through that and telling you that, it's like, listen, you will feel like an imposter, but your talent is ridiculous. Just do it and fake it until you make it. Honestly,
exactly.
You can do this.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a very complicated subject, and there are lots of things at play. And I think one of the things that keeps popping up is that, obviously as women, as girls, there's all these subtle kind of cues that tell us that we've got to be good and we've got to be quiet and we've got, and it's just so subtle, and there's so much of it that we don't realise that actually later in life that knocks our confidence. We're not apparently as likely to ask for a pay rise as compared to our male colleagues. So little things like that. So to found a studio, maybe that's, like you say, maybe that's where that comes from, that lack of kind of confidence. Or just the very kind of notion, well, there aren't many women that I see doing this, so therefore I'm probably not going to be able to do it either. You know, but once you start seeing more of who you are out in the industry, then surely that must give a boost. And I've seen that in the last sort of 5 to 10 years. Lots of female friends starting businesses and launching studios, and this is wonderful. This is a massive change to just 20 years ago when I graduated from university. And I did not realise back then what a man's world it was. I just didn't realise.
And imagine what inequalities we're not even seeing now. This is the thing.
I know.
We're blind to it then, but there will be systemic things that we're still taking for granted and just being like, well, that's just the status quo, and I haven't lifted the fog yet.
Yeah, exactly. I love how Harriet in the background, by the way, just thought, this conversation's heavy, man. I'm going to find a comfier seat.
Yeah.
She's like, this is too much for a Monday.
Yeah, she's 5 months and she's like, I've got a lot of work to do, and, you know, for women.
Is she a lockdown puppy? Did you sort of think, right, I need to get some company in my apartment?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to bring the tone down at all, but I had a 16-year-old dog who came with me from Australia. So he was 16 in lockdown, and he had gone through 18 months of seizures. So I did his palliative care. He had a very good life, though, and he was the most spoiled boy in the world. He was my best little angel heart boy. But yeah, he passed away early September last year, and then turns out I really need an animal around, but I wasn't ready to love my own yet.
Yes.
So
it's a huge loss.
Oh no, I couldn't do it. But then also I couldn't be in silence, and I was like, wait, no, I have a lot of love to give. I've got a lot of care to give, and what do I do with that? And so I put my name down for fostering, so you can look after pets until they get adopted. So I did that, and went with cats because I couldn't do a dog. And then I don't know, I went to Christmas, came back, and then late February I was like, you know what? I'm ready for some dog energy.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time Harriet came home.
Yeah. And she's been a very good girl.
Oh, she looks it. She looks it. Well, I won't keep you much longer, but what else did you do during lockdown that you kind of regretted? Because I got a lockdown bob, and it was just...
Yes. I did the lockdown fringe.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is it with fringes? We never learn, do we, Shanti? We never learn.
I've done it like 3 times in my life because I've got a large forehead, and I'm like, this is going to look great. And, you know, just going in there. But the thinking was, well, I'm locked in for at least another 3 months. Little did I know it was going to be a year. I was like, well, I'll be able to keep it styled because I'm home, and my Zoom thumbnail will tell me if it's all out of whack.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is normally the problem is that when I get them, I come back into the bathroom after 2 hours and I'm like, have I looked like this all day? Just alfalfa happening.
See, how do women blow dry fringes so that they're just perfectly straight? Mine always used to come out at an angle like that. Like it was just never going to lie flat with my forehead. It just came out on an angle.
Yeah, I didn't get it to work. Very quickly, I was like bobby pinning. And then it's eventually grown through.
Do you know, the last time I had a really bad fringe was when I went to Australia for one of my cousin's weddings. And I'd also gone through a really awful phase where I'd had loads of highlights put through my hair. But whoever did them, because you and I have very dark hair, don't we? Whoever did them, it wasn't really blonde, pretty highlights. They were just brassy orange highlights. I will send you a picture. I was also a stone heavier. It isn't my best look. I'm also being forced to wear, sorry if my cousin listens to this, she's brilliant, she's got beautiful taste, but it was not my colour, a sage green bridesmaid dress, which somehow accentuated the weight I was carrying at the time. So I looked like a fringed with a sort of side fringe that came out like this, orange highlights in black hair, and, you know, chubby shoulders. And it was not my best look. It really wasn't, but I did have a very good time.
That's all that matters, though. I mean, you sound like a vision.
I was stunning. I was stunning. I was with I was with my Australian family. There is a very funny video of me stood whilst they're doing their vows, and I'm like looking at the floor every now and again, looking at the floor in panic, and keep looking at the floor in panic, and then I'm stamping my foot. I was getting attacked by loads of green ants.
No, oh my gosh, they're so painful.
Nobody tells you about this stuff before you go to Australia. You know there's going to be massive spiders and that they're okay and they're not going to hurt you. Yeah, and that you need to worry about the small spiders, not the big ones. But anyway, nobody tells you that there's going to be green ants.
Yep. They hurt so much.
My goodness me.
Oh my gosh.
But you're glad not to see the back of them.
Oh, yes, I am. But however, I found out that rattlesnakes are in the general area, and I'm panicked about that.
In New York?
It's in upstate New York, but because I'm going to visit friends, and they're like, yeah, rattlesnakes and black bears, and I'm like, that sounds as bad as home.
Okay, so with the bears, all you have to do is just make yourself known.
Yes.
You have to just talk very confidently as you're walking along trails and clap your hands and sing. Yeah, definitely. So when we were walking around and hiking in Yosemite, we were going, yes, we know you might be there, bear. Just don't come and stare. Stay away from us, bear. We went to the visitor centre at Yosemite, and I'm such a clumsy, bumbly, typical British person in that, I'm just adorable and innocent. And I just said very loudly in the visitor centre, is that how big a bear is? To my American friend, and she just sort of blushed a little bit and went, yes, Katie. I went, blimey, I'm glad we didn't come across any of those on our trail.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're
scary.
Okay, so the only way I know scale is by going to the National Natural History Museum here.
Right.
And like the black bears, I'm like, okay, they're big. And then you like go around the corner and it's like a grizzly, and I'm like, Jesus! Like,
yes.
What?
Yes. What would their names be if you were to draw those? It wouldn't be Betty and Harriet, for goodness sake. I don't know.
It could very much be. Velma the grizzly.
Velma's a great name. Or Edith.
Yes.
Edith would be a good one for the black bear. She's stern, don't cross her, but she's also can be cuddly.
Yeah, you could even get one that's like Prudence or Gertrude, like something that feels like old school mom.
Do you know they're all coming back in fashion over here?
I know.
Cute. I love
I
it.
know a few Ediths that have just been born, and Florences.
Mm-hmm. If I happen to come across a newspaper that does the birth announcements, that's one of my favourite things to do, and I'll read it out to my husband Tom, who's just not bothered, and I'll go, oh, especially the posh papers. So I'll be like, oh, look at this. Gertrude, Elizabeth, Mary, Rose, Harriet, Clementine.
The fourth.
The fourth. Happily was born this morning to Joseph, Alexander, Jeffrey, and you just think this is great. Oh my God, who are these people? I just think you can't knock that, because that's lovely. That's like a life coming into the world. They'll probably be expected to do really well and go on to Cambridge University, but actually they discover they want to be an illustrator.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Maybe.
I mean, I think that's why I like working at Shillington so much, because it's not this, multi-generational school heritage with, all of those, what are they called, alumni things that happen?
Yes.
It really is. Anybody can do it. It equalizes a bunch of stuff, and there is a community of graduates come afterwards, but there's no accessibility point. And
yes.
I love academia. In my family are in that.
Sure.
But things do need to change a little.
Yeah.
Like, there are just some things that need to change in the system, and how we're teaching, and how leadership happens, and how jobs happen. There's fog around all of it.
There is. We need to make everybody feel welcome, and like everybody can do whatever they want. It's easier said than done, and I don't know how you fix that when, you've got kids that don't have a very good start. How do we sort of reach them and show them the possibilities of their lives, when nobody's really sort of potentially shown them that, or it's complicated, isn't it?
I'm grateful for not everyone has access to the internet, obviously, but I am grateful for that, in that kids in remote areas can connect with kids in city areas and see diversity of experience. And that YouTube, and there's so many free learning platforms that they can try things and see things without needing to pay money just yet, as long as they have access to internet, which isn't always the case. But that's going to go really, really far into helping people, find a leg in, or a foot in the door and a leg up.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And hopefully it feels like the world's getting better. And one of the silver linings from this pandemic is that, that's sort of speeded things up a little bit and opened up the world a bit more, and also reminded all of us that we need each other. There's community in all of us, and wherever we go, we need people. Yeah.
No man is an island sort of deal, like just
or woman.
No person is an island.
Who are men? Men are rubbish. They can get lost.
They've
be
had
islands. Their time. We don't mean that. We do not mean that at all.
Just knowing that we can connect with humans through technology meant that we could get through all of this, and I'm so super grateful.
Yes. Can you imagine if this happened when I graduated in 2000? I suppose we did have the internet then, so I can't really use that as an example. But imagine if this had happened in the sort of early 90s. How would we have sort of coped?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. It's really, really scary to just think about it. But I mean, especially being halfway across the world from my loved ones, just knowing that, even my mum can FaceTime. She can get Zoom to work.
Definitely. And that must make it much easier, knowing that you can just have that face to face. I mean, the first time we ever sort of got an inkling of that was in that Back to the Future film. When he's got all the multiple screens on I remember watching that as a kid and thinking, oh my God, that is like the future. That is amazing. But we still haven't got a hoverboard. Where's our hoverboard, Shanti?
Yeah, I want a hoverboard. Also, I want that weird little oven that she put a teeny tiny pizza into, and then 3 seconds later, huge pizza comes out.
I know. That was amazing. I want my hoverboard customised by Shanti Sparrow.
I would love to. This is a commission that I need to do.
Okay, so when I'm in my sort of 80s and you're in your 70s, then this hoverboard actually comes about, and they make like one safe for people of my age. Mind you, we'll have a pill by then, won't we?
We'll be fine.
Reverses our age, and then that'll be really confusing, because you'll have a bunch of 80-year-olds walking around looking like 40-year-olds, and nobody will know how old each other are. I wonder if they'll have like passports.
Ageism, is that the next fog to be lifted?
Oh, yes,
the thing
definitely.
that we're not even seeing yet.
Absolutely, yes. Because, my father actually said to me, Katie, your age that you're at now is gold, because you're old enough to have the experience and be respected, but you're still seen as young enough to be creative and full of ideas. And I looked at him and I thought, so what happens when I get into my 50s? And he said, well, just work hard for the next 10 years, mate.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Well, he's got a point, because, there's ageism. We have to.
There is ageism, and there's ageism in design, because, technology is always changing. So the newer generations will always know it a slightly bit better. And that's something I'm pretty aware of as well.
It's pretty scary how quickly my nephews have picked up technology. I see my 8-year-old, I think he's 9-year-old. Oh God, I'll get in trouble for this. 9-year-old nephew sort of like playing Fortnite, and he's absolutely amazing. Yeah. And he plays it with my husband, Tom, who's like 41. He's like, come on, Tom, we're going over here. And off they go with the weapons, and they're building things. I've got a friend called Danny, who's 7-year-old, has Minecraft. And she overheard her mum talking about something. And she went and she built this whole thing for her mum and said, look, Mum, I've built you this thing. They're incredible how quickly they pick up technology.
Yeah, well, Minecraft itself is like so creative. Yeah, my nieces and nephews, they also play in that. They'll get me to do it for a little bit, as long as my attention span will stay. But
I bet they love impressing you, though, because you're the creative auntie, you see.
Well, actually, they kind of like to show off, which I prefer. And they're like, do you like the thing that I built or the thing that she built? And I'm like, you both did very great things equally.
The right answer. So cute. Well, this has been so lovely. Thank you so much for your time, Shanti. I'm looking at little Harriet who's snoozing behind you, and I think it's about time she got a walk whilst the sun's
ready.
out.
Yeah, for sure. It's been so great to catch up with you and to meet you virtually like this.
So lovely. Yeah. Here's a warm hug, and thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and we'll see you very soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks again for listening to the Creative Boom podcast. I'm Katie Cowan, founder of Creative Boom, a platform to celebrate, inspire, and support the creative community. If you're enjoying the podcast, you can subscribe via creativeboom.com/podcast, and reviews are always welcome. Thanks also to our sponsor, Shillington, the original graphic design bootcamp, where you can study at one of its 6 campuses around the world or via its online course. To find out more, go to shillingtoneducation.com. Join me next time when my guest will be Stacey Woolsey, the founder of Make Your Own Masters and an anthropological future designer, amongst many other things.